Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Vinyltreasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Wednesday, only here on Oldies and More Radio, also broadcasting simultaneously on YouTube. Want to welcome you to the March 8th, 2023 All 60s show, where I spin my original vinyl soul 45's from 9 p.m. Eastern time to midnight. I think this weekend we're going to be losing an hour's sleep. That's no good. Johnny G doesn't sleep enough, let alone you're going to take an hour away from me. But you're here tonight. Sit back for the next 3 hours with a little bit of overtime. Got some cool 45's out of my collection. We opened up tonight with the Delights Orchestra. Came out on the Atco record label, a song probably inspired by Cliff Nobles. Cliff Nobles, of course, had a big hit with The Horse. This tune called King of the Horse. This group also backed up a girl group out of Philadelphia. They were known as the Sweet Delights. They also recorded for the Atco label. This song was a number 11 record on WQOK in Greenville, South Carolina from January 69. Instrumental there by the Delights Orchestra on Atco. It's called King of the Horse. Johnny G is king of the house tonight, spinning my 45's. Let's start her off with the vocal portion here on the All 60s show. Now, this singer, he's from Galion, Ohio. He was the lead singer of the Music Machine. You might remember their big hit from March of 67 called A Little Bit of Soul. Came out on the Laurie record label, but at around the same time, he had some solo releases also released on the Laurie record label. This was his second of 4 for Laurie Records, a song co-written and arranged by Tony Orlando. This charted number 3 on WCOL in Columbus, Ohio. Our opener tonight is from, our vocal opener tonight is from December 67. His name is Jamie Lyons. Jamie Lyons, the lead singer of the Music Machine on the Laurie label. It's called What We Do Here on Wednesdays, Soul Struttin'.
Now when you're soul strut, you got to have fun.
That is the lead singer of the Music Explosion, December 1967, Jamie Lyons. Jamie Lyons on the Laurie record label, his second of four on Laurie, a song entitled Soul Struttin' is what we do here every Wednesday night right here from 9 to midnight on Oldies and More Radio, also on YouTube. So let's continue here. And for this next singer, out of New Madrid, Missouri, his name is Maurice Dollison Jr., but after serving in the Army, he relocated to Chicago, and he was a guitarist, singer, songwriter, but he changed his name and signed with the Thomas record label, subsidiary of Satellite. And he had 4 releases on the label. This is the B-side to his fourth, a song he wrote together with Monk Higgins. This is from March 1967. Let's give a listen to Cash McCall. Cash McCall on the Thomas label. It's called Let's Try It Over.
Signs and I knew someone else was on your mind, gonna take your love away from me, leaving me in so much misery. Now then you walked away and left me broken hearted, tears in my eyes. Ooh, it hurt me so to lose your love. You brought so much joy in my life. Now if your new love treats you wrong and you feel that you just can't go on, it doesn't matter that you left me. I'll take you back, just you wait and see, and let's try it over. Let's try it over again. My heart's so full of love for you that I did everything you wanted to do, just as long as you were by my side. I couldn't help being satisfied. Now you just threw my love away, and I kept on begging you to stay. But if he goes and makes you blue, send for me, you know I'll run straight to you now. And let's try it over. Ooh, let's try it over again. Ooh, baby, 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 let's try it over. Ha. You know we all make mistakes sometimes. You know that I can't help but forgive you, baby. My heart's so full of love for you, baby. Till I got to say yes. Oh yeah.
Can't tell you how many times Johnny G had to try it over. There you go, Cash McCall there with the B-side there, the B-side to his fourth release, the song he co-wrote there from March 67 on the Thomas record label. Let's Try It Over. Of course, he had another 2 releases on the Checker label. He has others, I think, on PS, Ron with 2 N's, Paula, and Columbia Records. Let's continue here on the all 60s edition. We head to Detroit, Michigan with this next singer. First recording for the Correct Tone label back in 1962 with the song I'm a Coward. Now, 2 years later, he would re-record that song for the Sunbird record label, would then be picked up by Rick Tick Records. And after that, he had 2 releases for Juan Records. Now, his very next release came out on a label called Creed, C-R-E-E-D, in 1965. A song that he wrote, it was called Romeo, but it would be re-released a year later, and that's how I have it, on the W-I-G label, the Wig label. And this charted number 30 on WTRX in Flint, Michigan. Maybe Darryl, maybe you know that station. But this is a great two-sided 45. We're going to flip it over after this side here. September 1966. Let's give a listen to Geno Washington. Geno Washington on the Wig record label. The song is called Romeo. September 1966 release there for Geno Washington. That's actually the B-side. That's the intended B-side of the 45, song entitled Romeo. First came out on the Creed label. I have it on the Wig, W-I-G Records here. But let's flip it over here. Let's flip over the, give a listen to the intended A-side. It's a little slower. We're doing a quick reversal here on the 45. It's styrene. You know how much Johnny G loves styrene. I hate styrene 45s. I do. But this plays okay. Well, you know, I'm the only one that's been playing this record when it was new. But this is the A side of the record, September 1966. Geno Washington on the WIG record label, and the uncredited girls in the background, they're called the Debonaires. I think they recorded for Golden World, if I'm not mistaken. Or you know, another Detroit label. But anyway, let's give a listen to the intended A-side, September 1966, Mr. Geno Washington. On the Wig record label, it's called Now You're Lonely.
When you're lonely, you get up feeling. Are you willing to go on? You said that you loved her. You said that you need her. Oh, why were you up to treat that little girl cruel? Now you're lonely.
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 Yeah.
That's the intended A-side there for Geno Washington, September 1966, being backed up by the uncredited Debonaires on that single. WIG Records is how I have it. Now You're Lonely is the name of the tune. You're never lonely on a Wednesday evening, not from 9 to midnight. Not if you tune in to Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show here on Oldies and More Radio, also on YouTube live on the stream there. And I'll be back on next Saturday, or this coming Saturday at 9 o'clock for 1950s and early 60s 45. So if you like the 50s and early 60s, you want to tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday night. If you're new to the program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm up to 907 subscribers. We got to get to 1,000 before the end of the year. I had 27 last month, and I think it was 89,700 minutes, which I don't know what that equates to in hours, but it's a lot of hours, I will say. But anyway, let's continue here for this trio of gals. They are from Nashville, Tennessee. They formed while they attended Pearl High School in Nashville. First recording back in 1963 for the Groove record label. They included Paula Hester and sisters Beverly and Fran Bard. Collectively, they were known as the Avons. Now, after their 3 singles on the Groove label, they had one on Soundstage 7, and in 1966, another on, well, no, that was in 66 on Soundstage 7, then one more on a bet in 1967. Now, in 68, staff producer Bob Holmes, he got them a contract with Ernie Young's Excello record label for this one single. This is actually the B-side of their single, written by Bob Holmes. This is from April 1968. Let's give a listen to the Avons, the girl group, the Avons, on Excello. It's called Since I Met You, Baby.
Since the day I met you, and
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, the All 60s edition. That girl group called the Avons. The Avons on Ernie Young's Excello record label out of Nashville, Tennessee, April 68. Since I Met You Baby is the name of the tune. I think they have one more. Well, I do have the record on the Referee label, which I think a couple of the guys left Excello to form that Referee label. I think in the guy that wrote this song, Bob Holmes, he was one of the guys. Anyway, Johnny G here, your professor according to DJ H Record Hound up in Canada, tuned into the Vinyl Treasure Show in the YouTube chat room here. Thank you all for being here tonight. Hope you dig on these cool tunes here. But let's stay in the state of Tennessee, this time Memphis, Tennessee, for this next group, recording for the Nashville-based Pepper label. I featured their fourth of 5 on the Pepper label on the February 15th, 2023 show. A cover of the Marvin Gaye's tune, A Stubborn Kind of Fellow. But let's give a listen to their first. This was their first on the Pepper label. It features Eddie Harrison on lead. It mentions that on the label, actually I think on all their releases, but this was a big number 2 record on WHBQ in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's go to January 68 for the Shortcuts. The Shortcuts spelled with a K, K-U-T-S. This is on the Pepper label. It's called Your Eyes May Shine.
Corner of the shades you wear, you're hinting to my baby, you want her in a love affair. Let me tell you, your eyes they shine, your teeth they glitter, but this little girl of mine, oh, she'll not get there. You're not gonna get her, because I love her. You're not gonna get her. I see her twice every time my girl passes by. She knows just what's happening by the twinkle in her eye. Let me tell you, your eyes they shine, your teeth they glitter, but this little girl of mine, she's been so sweet to me. She saves all her loving for me, and that's why I love her. I'm never so young. I see her with those fine clothes she wears on her back. In any society, she knows exactly how to act. Let me tell you, your eyes they shine, your teeth they glitter, but this little girl of mine, oh, she'll not get her. You're not gonna get her, because I love her. You're not gonna get her. Gonna love her in the morning, midnight, you're not gonna get her. Bring it on, girl. I feel all right, yeah. You're not gonna get her. I want you to bring it on down, yeah. I feel pretty good, y'all. You're not gonna get her. The midnight hour, everything's all right.
That's Eddie Harrison and the Shortcuts there. That's their first release. Came out on the Pepper record label, Pepper Records out of Nashville, Tennessee. January 1968, the Shortcuts with Your Eyes May Shine. Some eyes may shine when they hear this next 45. I really can't tell you much, though, about this 45. I think it's a big popcorn soul sound. I think that's how you could describe this record, but what caught my eye when I saw this in the box, when I saw it in the record box, I'm talking years ago now, it was for $6. But I'm going to spend $6 if I see writer credit as Howard Guyton. Of course, Howard Guyton, he was the lead singer of the 1950s group The Pearls that recorded for the Onyx record label. But anything 50s related I was going to buy. So I bought it on a hunch. And the singer, his name is Rick Lovejoy. And I would think that is a made-up name. So this is really somebody else. And I really don't know how to place it. But anyway, it's arranged and conducted by Johnny Pate. That's also another thing I was looking for, especially when it came to soul records. But this is from July 1965. His name is Rick Lovejoy, but I think that's an alias for someone else. It's on ABC Paramount. It's called Don't Leave Me Behind.
Darling, don't you ever leave me behind. Darling, don't you ever, oh no, be so unkind. Don't put me on the shelf. Don't make me feel that I'm by myself. Baby, please won't you come back home? Don't you ever tear us apart, because it will only break my lonely heart. Don't put me in a bin. You make me feel that I'm off instead. And baby, please don't you leave me alone. Don't leave me behind. Don't put me in a bin. You make me feel that I'm off instead. Baby, please don't you leave me alone. You make me feel that I'm not at home. I said no, 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 don't leave me behind. Darling, don't you ever, oh no, don't break my heart. Yeah. Baby, won't you please? Yeah.
That's the sound of Rick Lovejoy there, July 1965 release on the ABC Paramount record label. Don't Leave Me Behind is the name of the tune. The only other two people that I know that, well, there's somebody else on 45 Cat that has it, I think, or there's a private listing. I have the record. Maybe you can try it warm. Maybe you can try to get it from Stereo Tom, because he has a copy of that 45. He actually likes the flip side better, by the way. And the only other person that I knew that had this record was Greg Surik. I'm telling you, I am still in shock that they found Greg Surik. He passed away in his home. I'm still in shock for that, because Greg, not that I was a rival of Greg's, but I was when I was younger, when I first started collecting. I met Greg back in 1980 at one of the White Plains hotels. There was a record show there, and I started buying records from him. You know, they were cheap at the time, but I remember I bought the Cinderellas on Dimension from him for like $4. Baby, Baby, I Still Love You. I didn't even know the record. He played it for me, and I liked it. But I really knew Greg fairly well over the last 20 years or so, and he's a year older than me. We're talking about retirement and signing up for Medicare. And he told me he was getting ready to go to Allentown, and I said, Greg, I says, I need some more soul records. So if you can put together some soul records, I know he had that record plus a lot more. He had a lot, and he was so knowledgeable too, and he knew about all these soul records. It was amazing. It's really going to be missed, and I'm going to be paying a little bit of a tribute to Greg on my Saturday night show because he was really into the vocal groups, as I was too. And we were the same age, so we would compare notes all the time. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. You know this gal from Philadelphia. Her real name is Dion LaRue. But the Cameo Parkway producers Cal Mann and Bernie Lowe suggested she change her name. She needed a different name to record with, and they used Dee Dee Sharp. And she had some big hits on the Cameo label. Her biggest hit, I think, was her first release in '62 called Mashed Potato Time. I think that was like the number one record for the entire year of 1962. But after her 13 singles on the Cameo label, she signed with Atco Records in '66. I think she had 5 releases on the Atco label, but she would sign with Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff's Gamble label for 2 singles. This was her first, written by Leon Huff and Kenny Gamble, who married her in 1967. They produced this tune, arranged by Tommy Bell and Bobby Martin. This charted number 10 on WJLB in Detroit, Michigan. Let's go to September 1968 for Miss Dee Dee Sharp. Dee Dee Sharp on the Gamble label. It's called What Kind of Lady? That's Dee Dee Sharp there. Dee Dee Sharp from September 68. A tune co-written by her husband at this time, Kenny Gamble, on the Gamble label. What Kind of Lady is the name of the tune. Let's continue now. Let's go out to Washington, D.C. for this group, recorded for the local D.C. Sound label, which was, I think that was distributed by Amy Malabelle. Now, their debut single was called Don't Be Afraid, came out in August of 1968. They followed it up with this release. This was their second of three on D.C. Sound. Now, it features Frankie Carl on lead. This tune written by William Jackson. I also think he wrote their other song, or their first song, produced by Gene Dozier. This is from February 69. They're called The Dreams. The Dreams on DC Sound. It's called Do What You Wanna. That's Frankie Carl and the Dreams there, February 69. They're second of three on the DC Sound record label, Do What You Wanna. You can do what you want to here on the All 60s edition. Johnny G does. I do what I want. It's kind of good when I can play anything I want. That is for sure. Although the copyright police, they're out there, and they shut down my show that the tribute to Chuck Jackson that I did, I think on the 22nd, I think, of February, but I do have a Chuck Jackson coming up that you all will know, and that's for listener Adrian in our YouTube chat room. But let's continue here for this next singer by the name of Duke Daniels. That sounds like another made-up name, really. Maybe not, but this appears to be his only release. It came out on the Eastern label. The tune written and produced by William McCorkle, who also wrote the tune here. Now, he actually wrote tunes for other artists, major artists, this William McCorkle, Jackie Wilson, the Bruins on General American. Well, they're not a common name. The Townsmen on Harold, Ty Stewart and the Jokers on Amy. That's not another common name, but he wrote their tunes. And also the Sweethearts on Brunswick, plus others. And he wrote this one here from June 64. His name is Duke Daniels on the Eastern label. I think this is the intended B-side, though. The song is called Backfire.
we had a love so strong. But now I know what I thought was all wrong. Yesterday, I held you in my arms. I was thrilled by your many charms. Now today, everything I do, I'm backfire. Backfire on me. Yesterday, I told all my friends you were mine until the very end. Now today, everything I do, I'm backfire. Backfire on me. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know if I should leave her or somebody else. Oh, when she kissed me and when she's so near, the very next day just disappeared. Now today, everything I do, I'm backfire. I just wanna tell you, I know we had a love so strong. Oh, now I know everything I thought was wrong.
June 64 release there for Duke Daniels. That's side 2 on the Eastern record label. Backfire is the name of the tune. Johnny G, my car used to backfire. Actually, my parents had a Ford Country Squire. Don't get a Ford Country Squire. They probably don't make those. When did they make those cars? Back in what, 1969 maybe? You know, and it was cool because in those the Country Squire, what did they call that? It's got like this long, and it had these seats way in the back, and it looks like you're driving a bus because it was so long. Anyway, John G losing his mind tonight. And up next, this gal out of Philadelphia, PA, her real name is Joan Capitola, but she recorded using the alias Dawn, D-A-W-N. That was it. Now, her first record was a duet in 1964 on the Mercury label with someone by the name of Billy as Billy and Dawn. Now, Billy was really Billy Carlucci of the Essentials. Now, Billy would be instrumental in her career, writing and producing many of her later releases, and this was her first solo release, written by Billy Carlucci and Joe Veneri. This charted number 54 on WIBG in Philadelphia, if you were tuned into that station. This is from August 65. Her name is Dawn. Dawn on the Apt record label. It's called Can't Get Him Off My Mind.
He looks so very nice, and I love him so. Doesn't he know when he kissed me the first time? Oh, I almost lost my mind. I was in paradise, and I can't get him out of my mind.
Dawn, a.k.a. Joan Capitola, August 1965 release. That's on the Apt Records label. Apt Records is a subsidiary of ABC Paramount Records. Can't Get Him Off My Mind is the name of the tune. Now, Billy Carlucci would be instrumental with her later releases. She has, and I have them on ABC Paramount, also United Artists and the Laurie record label. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening. Hopefully I didn't say Saturday evening, spinning Soul 45's out of my collection. And this for this next singer, he's out of Brooklyn, New York. His real name was Bertel Dash, but he recorded as Bert. Now, I don't know if you pronounce this Dash or Dache, D-A-C-H-E. Well, there is no accent over the E, so maybe it's pronounced Dash. I don't know, but anyway, so either way, either pronounced Dache or Dash. First recording demos for the writers of in the offices of the Brill Building back in New York City. He first recorded for United Artists back in 1960. Had 2 singles on the United Artists label as Bertel Dache or Dash. I don't know. We'll have to ask Stereo Tom how to pronounce it. But this was his third and final single. Came out on the New York City Diamond label. And this is the intended B-side, a tune written by Joe Simmons and Larry Cusick. This is from April 66. Bert Dache or Bert Dash, however you want to say it. On the Diamond record label, it's called Don't Stop the World for Me.
I don't wanna get off.
Don't stop the world.
I don't wanna get off. 'Cause I couldn't stand more happiness than when I'm a feeling in your caress. And now, baby, now that you're my girl, don't stop the world. I don't wanna, no, I don't wanna get on. I found all the love I need on earth. To me, there will never be nothing worse. The way you make my head work. Don't stop the world. I don't wanna, no, I don't wanna get on. So much more than precious, my love. The right words I can find, no. To say how happy I feel, to hear you say your love is real, and that you'll always be mine. I'm so proud to tell everyone that I found the love that's not for fun. Just as long as you're my girl. Don't stop the world. I don't wanna, no, I don't wanna get on. 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 Oh,
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure, the All 60s edition. All right, Reed, you got me sold. Bert Dache is the name of the artist. April 1966 release on the Diamond label. Don't Stop the World. That's the intended B-side of the 45. The flip side's called Anchors Away, something like that, which is okay, but I like that side better. Anyway, let's continue here for this duo out of Chicago, Illinois. They were previously members of the Nobles that recorded for USA, the USA label up in Chicago. They are Mike Cavallo and no, they are. Wait, Mike Cavallo. Yeah, Mike Cavallo and Michael Tomasetti. And in my opinion, okay, because I think there's a debate on what is the true first press of this. I think the true first press of this came out on the Chicago-based Constellation label, only because the Manhattan release, which I'm playing here, has the Constellation Matrix number. So, I think, and then nobody on 45 Cat has a picture of the Constellation release, but I have it. I do have the Constellation 45. But I think the last time I played this, I said this was the first press, but I think now I'm going to change my mind. I think Manhattan is the second press. So let's send this one out to Warren Russell in our YouTube chat room. He likes this tune from July 1965. Let's give a listen to Mike and Michael on the Manhattan label. That's how I'm playing it. It's called My Neighborhood.
All the guys used to meet. Wouldn't it be shy to meet my girl down in the park? But since I've gone, all those memories, they're lost in the dark. Wanna go back to my neighborhood. Wanna go back to my girl. Wanna go back to the places where she and I used to secretly meet. Wanna go back home on Taylor Street in my neighborhood. Yeah, my old I don't wanna live life in my new neighborhood. I don't wanna touch the sky. I just want my own neighborhood. I want my love. I want my love. I want my love. I want my love. I want my girl.
July 65 there for Mike and Michael. That's on the Manhattan record label, which I think is the second label. I think this first came out, I would logically thinking it's got the Constellation Matrix numbers there. You would think it would be, it would be something completely different if Constellation would have picked it up. But anyway, that's Mike and Michael, Mike Cavallo and Michael Tomasetti, and the song called My Neighborhood. Now, they would later record as Neighborhood in, I think it might be 1970 on the Big Tree record label, the song called Big Yellow Taxi. If you know that tune, Joni Mitchell, I think, had a hit with that record. Anyway, Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening. We're spinning Soul 45's. Let's stay in Chicago for this group that had two releases on Bill Meek's All-Teen or Alteen record, not all, Alteen Records label. Now, this was their second, written by the group's lead singer. His name is Drake McGibbery, but he is the lead of Drake and the Insolids. What a weird name, Drake and the Insolids. It's produced by the label owner Bill Meek, arranged by George McGregor. This is from March 1968. Drake and the Insolids. It's called Please Leave Me.
There's nothing
Is that March 68 or March 66? Sounds like I have March 68. Maybe that's not right, but that's Drake and the Insolids. That's on the Altine record label. Please Leave Me is the name of the tune. Their first of two on the Altine label. Let's continue now. I'm guessing this next lead singer is out of Detroit, Michigan, because the label is originally out of Detroit. It's owned by Eugene Davis, but it's distributed by the Atlantic record label out of New York City. This group had 3 releases on the Flaming Arrow label. This was their second. It was a number 15 record on KZEY in Tyler, Texas. A tune written by the label owner Eugene Davis. It features Gloria Walker on lead. Let's go to December of 1968. So I did have it right. Well, this record's out of 68 too. December 68. On Flaming Arrow Records, it's Gloria Walker and the Chevelles. And the song is called Please Don't Desert Me, Baby.
My soul had been converted. Maybe then I could command. Yeah. Now listen, my mother didn't want me as a baby, so she left me home to die. Grew up to be a lady, but still sometimes I sit and cry. I became engaged to be married. My heart was filled with joy, but always been deserted. And now I would marry this young man. Oh yeah. We became engaged and set the date. Preparations had been made.
As Gloria Walker and the Chevelles from December 1968 on the Flaming Arrow record label. We're going to send that one out to Adrian, listening in Mexico. He likes that cool, deep soul sound by Gloria Walker and the Chevelles. Please Don't Desert Me. And out in the 70s, I think she's got one on the People label, and I think she did 3 on Federal in the early 1970s. Hope you're digging on these cool soul 45s out of Johnny G's collection. We do it every Wednesday night from 9 to midnight right here on Oldies and More Radio, live on the YouTube stream. You can see the records. Yes, you can. Let's go back to Chicago now. In 1966, this group, with their first release, they had an EP called Rock and Roll Mass, which included Christian religious songs. That was in November And then in November of 1966, a release on the local Quill label, which would get picked up by Capitol Records and became their first release on the Capitol label. Actually, their first of 3 for Capitol. But this is the B-side to their third release, and it's actually a cover tune. This was first done by The Impressions on ABC Paramount, a tune written by Curtis Mayfield. But this is a cover released in February 68. It features Peter Cetera on lead. If you know that name, Peter Cetera would later become the lead singer of the band Chicago. Had all those big hits on the Columbia record label in the 70s and 80s. But this is from February 68. They're called The Exception. The Exception on the Capitol label with Peter Cetera on lead. And they're doing the impression tune. It's called You Always Hurt Me. Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition. That's The Exception. The Exception there, February 1968. That's their third release on the Capitol label, You Always Hurt Me. That's Peter Cetera. Peter Cetera of the band Chicago on lead. Let's continue now for this next singer. He's out of the state of Alabama, first recording in 1966 as D.B. Brantley and the Fabulous Micronites, a 45 that came out on the local Touche record label. This was the very next release, came out on Russell Sims' label, at the time out of Nashville, Tennessee, although this label first started out in Los Angeles, then they relocated to Tennessee. Now, the song is produced by Don Mosley and Von Taylor, who co-wrote this tune with the singer here. His name is Dan Brantley. Now, this charted number 21 on WJBE in Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's go to March 1968. For Dan Brantley on the Sims label, it's called Please Accept My Love.
Now I can't offer you the whole wide world, nor can I give you the moon and stars above. But I've got a heart, yes I have,
Always fun finding records like that in the wild for a quarter. That's what I paid for that one. Dan Brantley's his name, March 1968. It's on the Sims record label, Sims Records at this time out of Nashville, Tennessee. Reed mentions they were out of, where'd you say, Reed? They were out of California, Los Angeles, California. I saw started out Riverside, California. They relocated to Nashville, Tennessee. Dan Brantley there from March 1968. Let's go back to Detroit, Michigan for this gal. She's covering a standard. This tune, you might know this song by Paul Anka, because Paul Anka recorded this in the 1950s, I think maybe 1958 or 59 on ABC Paramount. But this gal was also not only a singer, she was an actress. Her real name is Anne Jean Harris, but she recorded as Jean Duchan, who, by the way, had her first release back in 1960 for ABC Paramount Records, but she has other releases on different labels, Atco, OK, Lennox, Argo, and she did 4 on the Cadet label, and I'm playing the B-side to her third, this one arranged by Bert Keys. We go to August of 1966. Let's give a listen to Jean Duchan on Cadet Records and her rendition of the tune, All of a Sudden, My Heart Sings.
All of a sudden my heart sings when I remember little things, the way you dance and hold me tight, the way you kiss me, say goodnight, the crazy things we say and do, the fun it is to be with you, the magic thrill that's in your touch. Oh, darling, I love you so much. The secret way you press my hand to let me know that you understand the wind and the rain upon your face, the breathless world of your embrace, your little laugh and half surprise, the starlight gleaming in your eyes, remembering all those things. All of a sudden my heart sings. All of a sudden, all of a sudden, all of a sudden my heart sings. Oh, the secret way you press my hand to let me know, darling, that you understand the wind and the rain upon your face, the breathless world of your embrace, your little laugh, your half surprise, the starlight gleaming in your eyes, remembering all those little things. All of a sudden my heart sings, 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 my heart sings.
Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Jean Duchan's her name, August 66 release on the Cadet record label, her rendition of the tune All of a Sudden My Heart Sings. And that one there, what did I say? That she had 4. That was the B-side to her third release. I have to say hello. Last week we had Melvin in our chat room. He was listening over in the UK. It was his first time. He said, I had to hear Johnny G live. And now we have someone in the chat room, MG from Germany. It's 4:19 in the morning. Boy, I got to thank you all for tuning in. You're getting up early to tune in to the Vinyl Treasure Show. I hope you like the tunes that I'm playing, MG, as I try to please the audience. And again, if you're new to the program, please subscribe. Johnny G's got to get up to 1,000 subscribers. Maybe I'll do some stuff in the middle of the day. It'll be early for some of you listeners in other countries to tune into the program here. Let's continue here. And this next group, they're out of Philadelphia, PA. Now, I was kind of perplexed with this record, but we'll talk about it here. But I'm going to give you the history of the group. They first recorded way back in 1953 as the Revels Quartet for the Atlas record label in New York City, and I often feature this group on my 50s show, my 50s and early 60s show, which is on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But they had a lot of releases on different labels in the 50s, Sound, Teen, Chess, Norgold, Palette, and this one seems to have not made Ferdy Gonzalez's disco file, because this is their very last release. At first, I didn't think it was the group, but then I saw the writer credit, and it said John Kelly. Now, John Kelly, he was one of the lead singers of the group. So, and he's probably doing lead on this, I'm guessing. But it's their very last single, came out on the Cap record label. This tune arranged by interesting arrangers, Billy Jackson and Jimmy the Whiz Wisner. They arranged this tune. This is from October 64. Let's give a listen to the Revels. The Revels on Cap Records. It's called Dollar Sign.
Take a girl's mind if he had a good line, if he had a good line. But not today, you won't get anywhere without the dollar sign, without the dollar sign. Now I'm not jobbing, he's not jobbing. You know I ain't conniving, ain't conniving. They want the dollar, yeah, dollars. You know what I mean, dollars. Of money, the girls will call you honey, and they'll stick with you. Oh yes, they'll stick with you. But if you don't have lots of bucks to back you up, forget it, man, you're through. Forget it, man, you're through. Now I'm not jobbing, he's not jobbing. You know I ain't conniving, ain't conniving. They want the dollars, yeah, dollars. You know what I mean.
There you go. Those are the Revels. That's the same group from the 1950s. I'm telling you, it is John Kelly. Well, no, what was it? John Kelly. Wait, I wrote it here. You losing my mind here. John Kelly, yeah, he is the writer of this song called Dollar Sign, October 1964. It's on Cap Records, the Revels there, song entitled Dollar Sign. It was arranged by Billy Jackson and Jimmy the Whiz Whizzer. An interesting tune there, yes it is. And let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's go back to Washington, D.C. for this group. They have a 45 on the Edgewood label from October 1966 called Showstopper. That record is a big Northern Soul 45. It would be picked up in early 1967 on the Hem label. I don't have that 45. I do have a couple records on Hem, I think by Lawrence and the Arabians, maybe, I think I have on that label, something like that. But this release is prior to that Showstopper 45. Maybe this. I think this is their debut single. Yes, it's their debut single. It's on the Hubba label, and I really love this tune. It was written by the lead singer of the group. His name is Eddie Jefferson. They're out of Washington, D.C. They're called the Cashmeres, not the same Cashmeres that recorded for Mercury. This is a different group from December 1965. Let's give a listen to the Cashmeres on Hubba Hubba. It's called Back to School Again.
Oh
That's the sound of the Cashmeres on the Hubba Hubba label. Eddie Jefferson, the lead singer on that. I don't think that's the same Eddie Jefferson that recorded for Stax Records. That's a different guy. This is December 65. They're out of Washington, D.C. Back to School Again is the name of the tune. They have one other. I think I have that one on the, is it the Ninandy or Ninandy record label out of 68? I think I do have that 45. Or what, is it by the Swordsman, I think? I don't know. Johnny G losing his mind here. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes here on the All 60s edition. Let's continue here for this next singer. She's from North Philly, first recording in 1963 for the local lyric label. I need that 45, by the way. Then in 1964, she signed with Academy Records for 3 singles. Her first is a cool record, probably my favorite by her, a song called Dead End. It sounds a lot like Martha and the Vandellas' Heatwave. I have played it here. It's been a while. Time to pull that one out too, but I saw this one in the box. This is the intended B-side of her second release, arranged by Leroy Lovett. Let's go to January 1965. Give a listen to Ann Byers. Ann Byers on the Academy record label. It's called Here I Am.
To come to you, well, here I am, and I brought to you my, if you need to, then we'll love. When I first spoke to you, I had a feeling you were concealing a love that didn't really exist for me, but I changed my mind, and now I'm here to love you, if you prove that your love for me is true. I don't think I made a hasty decision. I thought it all the way through, and my thoughts led to you. Oh yeah, so here I am with my heart in my hand, and now I'm ready to start a swinging romance. 'Cause here I am, bringing my love like you told me to. Whenever I'm blue, just to run to you. Well, darling, here I am, and I brought to you my love. I told myself when I first saw you to keep away, but I really wasn't giving you a chance. Now that I'm here, won't you please tell me, dear, oh, does your heart really beat the way that mine does for you? 'Cause here I am, and I don't want to be misled into thinking that you care when you're feeding me a line just to pass a little time. No, you've got to love me, darling, and that's the reason that I'm here. Oh, that I'm here. Well, don't you know that I love you? And don't you know that I need you? And don't you know that I want you? Oh, that's why I'm here. Well, darling, you've got to love me.
That's the second of 3 on Academy Records for Ann Byers. Ann Byers, January 65, Here I Am. I think that's the B-side of the 45, if I'm not mistaken. Sounding a little bit like Dead End, but that's the B-side, I think. I still need her third release. I know somebody who has her third release, Dave, but she has, I think she has another one in 69 on the Cougar label, and I think in 73 she recorded for the Philadelphia Virtue label. Johnny G spinning 45's here. Up next, a label affiliated with Phoebe Records out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but supposedly, at least with their early releases, they had offices in Hollywood, California. At least it says it on the label. It's called the Sonic label. The group included Jerry Hilton, Cleveland Martin, James Mitchell, Earl Thompson, and Robert Thompson. Collectively, they were known as the Rhythm Rascals. Now, this is the intended B-side of their single, which would be picked up by Morris Levy's Roulette record label. So you can get this on the Roulette record label, but I think it's harder to get on this label, Sonic. That's how I'm playing it. The weird thing about it is it says with BEBBIA, BB Boy Butch. Now, I don't know if one of those guys is BB Boy Butch. Maybe that was one of the code names for one of those guys that I mentioned, because Ferdy Gonzalez had the lineup of the group. So I don't know who that is, but it's from April 66. The Rhythm Rascals. I'm playing it on the Sonic label. It's called Girl by My Side. I left my mic on and I coughed. That's not good. There you go there. That is a B-side there. B-side for the Rhythm Rascals, April 1966 on the Sonic label. Girl by My Side is the name of that tune. You can get that also on Morris Levy's Roulette record label, probably cheaper. But we're going to flip the 45 over. I can do instant requests, folks. If you know the flip sides of the 45s, I will play them, but they better be good. But I know the flip side of this is good because I was debating on which side I was going to play. But we're going to flip it over instantly for Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. Let me line it up here. There you go. So we're going to give a listen to the intended A-side of this 45 by the Rhythm Rascals' April 66 release. The A-side's called Why Do You Have to Go? This is for Mark Speck in the YouTube chat room, an instant request.
Oh, baby, die, baby. All my tears I can't shed, I won't live without you, darling. Tell me, baby, baby, I love you so bad now. I wanna die, baby. All these teardrops I have for you, baby, I'm gonna cry, baby.
That's an instant request from Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. Has a Billy Stewart sound to it. California Lowrider, as I think Reed put it. And that is the Rhythm Rascals there. April 1966 release on the Sonic label. Going out to Mark Speck. It's called Why Do You Have to Go? If you're looking for that on a 45, you might as well pick up the Roulette second press. It's a lot cheaper than the Sonic 45. You can even find it on the Sonic label. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening. It's our All Soul 60s show. We're here from 9 p.m. Eastern Time till midnight. We'll be doing overtime tonight as we continue here. And we just heard the Rhythm Rascals. Let's go to this next artist. I've been featuring this singer over the last few weeks. He's out of Dallas, Texas, first recording as a member of the 1950s group The Five Notes, recorded for the Chess record label. That record I do play on my 50s show, but in 1960, he went solo, signing with Don Robey's Peacock Records out of Houston, Texas. Now, this is the B-side to his 10th release, his 10th of 12 on Peacock. It's a song he wrote from August 1967. Let's give a listen to Al TNT Braggs on the Peacock record label. It's called Home in That Rock.
You always tell me about the things I do. You don't seem to believe that I'm in love with you. You say you're leaving me here alone. You say I'm mean and cold, I've got a heart of stone. Well, if it's true what you say, let me tell you right away that you got a home in that rock. Oh, you got a home in that rock, girl. Oh, you got a home, oh, in that rock. You say you've taken more from me than from any man, and how you did it, you don't understand. You say you love me, girl, and you'll never stop, but still you're leaving 'cause you say my head is like a cement block. Well, if it's true what you say, let me tell you right away that you got a home in that rock. Oh, you got a home in that rock, girl. You got a home in that rock. Oh, you got a home right there in that rock. Don't worry about your home, 'cause you got a home forever and ever. Leave me never.
That sounds like You're a Wonderful One, doesn't it? A little bit like the Marvin Gaye tune. Anyway, that's Al TNT Braggs from August 1967. That's the B-side to his 10th release on the Peacock label. Home in That Rock is the name of the tune. Johnny G has a home up here in the attic. That's where I broadcast, but my 45s are down in the no humidity basement. Many of you know if you make a request, I can't run down to it would be 1, 2, 3 flights of stairs, and they're like 16 stairs in each flight. I can't do that. I can't do that to get down to the basement. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. I featured this 45 before. It's been a while. This gal from Portland, Oregon. She has this lone release on the Loma label, and the song co-written and produced by Bobby Paris. And we know Bobby Paris has some pretty cool records, but her name is Mary Lee Whitney. This is from June 1966. Mary Lee Whitney on the Loma record label. It's called Don't Come A-Knockin'.
I hear your footsteps coming toward my door, and I know what you're looking for. When you need someone to care, you think that I'll be waiting there. You come and knock in. Don't come and knock in. Don't come and knock in, baby. Up on my door. Now you're standing there, your nose up in the air. You think you're gonna get your way. You better listen to what I have to say. I have learned to live without you. Better off to do without you come a knocking. Don't come a knocking. Don't come a knocking, baby. Up on my door. Turn to when I'm alone and blue. You're never there. What should I care? Don't come a knocking. Don't come a knocking. Don't come a knocking, baby. I can't stand to hear you knocking. That you walked away, I can feel the emptiness surround me. No one has to tell me that I spend my lonely life in misery. Should I get down on my knees, begging, baby, baby, please come back knocking.
Well, Reed, that's on your list because I played it, and I remember you liked the record. You put it on your list there. We're going to send that one out to Adrian, listening in Mexico. He's hearing lots of cool tunes that he likes. That makes Johnny G happy. That's Mary Lee Whitney, June 1966. She's out of Portland, Oregon. That's her only release on the Loma label. Don't Come A-Knockin' is the name of the tune. You can come a-knockin' every Wednesday from 9 to midnight right here on Oldies and More Radio, also live on the YouTube stream. Tell your friends about the show. Please give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm playing. Very important. I picked up 27 subscribers last month, and I had like 89,700 minutes watching the show, and that's just in the last like 30 days. They send me like a progress report every 30 days. We got to get it up to 907. Well, I'm up 907, and today I was talking to I was talking to the nurse at my mother's doctor because I'm trying to work out a deal with Eliquis. It's too expensive because she's got to be on a blood thinner. So I told her, she put me on hold, and I said, well, I'm preparing for my radio show tonight on YouTube. So she called me back and she said, you have a podcast on YouTube? I said, yeah, I do. I play records. And I'm doing a live broadcast tonight. Maybe she's still tuned in. I don't know. But I think she subscribed to my station. I said, tell your friends about it. And you can send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com if you have a request. I will admit to you that it's harder for me to find the 60s stuff because I became discombobulated after the end of October because I ended up catching COVID and my parents did. They almost passed away, but they're doing better. They're almost back to normal. My father can come up the stairs. My mother can't yet. So they're getting their strength back. So they'll get there. But I can now at least play my records in peace. But let's continue here for this next singer. He's from Miami, Florida. He was a member of the Delmiras on the Dade record label. That's a 45 that your host Johnny G needs for my 1950s, early 60s show. But he went solo in 1965 recording for the local Lloyd label out of Miami. And this was actually his second single on Lloyd that was picked up by Dial Records in October of 1967. No, this wasn't. His second Lloyd single was picked up by Dial, a song called Chills and Fever. Now, after his second release on Dial, the label owner, Buddy Killen, he leased a bunch of his masters to Philips Records. And they put out 4 singles. I think it was 8 sides. They put out 4 singles on Philips, and this is the B-side to his first. It's a song he wrote from December of 1966. Let's give a listen to Paul Kelly. Paul Kelly on the Philips label. It's called I Need Your Love So Bad.
I'd been looking so long for a love to call my own. Now I've got you, and I'm so pleased. I'm so thankful that you're my baby. I work hard every day, and I bring home all my pay. You're so sweet, honey, to me. You're better than a dream ever could be. And I need your love so bad. Without it I'm so sad. And I need your love so bad, bad, bad. I need you like fish needs water. Without you can't go no further. As close to me as one is for two. Lord, that's the way that I want you now. Oh yeah. Hey, hey. Got you by my side, and if you leave, I know I die. You're mine, everything. You're like a sweet song to sing. Oh, nah. And I need your love so bad. Without it, I'm so sad. And I need your love so bad, bad, bad. Every day. Every way, you're my love, you're my baby. And I need love, your love so bad, so bad, so bad.
December 66 release there for Paul Kelly. That's the B-side to his first release on the Phillips label. I Need Your Love So Bad is the name of the tune, a song that he wrote. He would have, I think after the 4 releases on Phillips, he had one last one that Buddy Killen put out on the Dial label in late 68. Then in 1970, he recorded, has a bunch of releases on the Happy Tiger label in the early 1970s. Johnny G here, spinning your 45s. Now, on last week's Vinyl Treasure show, I opened up the vocal portion with this singer from San Francisco, California. Featured his, I had it on the Baytown record label, a song called Earthquake. That one came out in September of 1964. Here's one he did from 65, a song that he co-wrote, and I would have to say what inspired him to write this song was something that Gene Chandler might have recorded. That's what I say, but you can be the judge. This is a 45 I purchased at one of the record shows I went to. I don't know which one. Could have been in New Jersey or Allentown. Tom Klein, he was selling this out of his collection. Unfortunately, though, I have a same song on both sides. I'm not too happy about that, but still, I love the tune. This is from 1965. Let's give a listen to Troy Dodds. Troy Dodds on Daytona Records. It's called Count of Love.
One, two, three, you can count on me. 1, 2, 3, you can count on me. Only little girl in the skies above, you can count on me, 'cause I'm the count of love. When things go wrong and turn to the bad, look to me, don't you be sad, 'cause 1, 2, 3, you can count on me. 1, 2, 3, you can count on me.
Duke of Earl. There you go. That's Troy Dodds. Troy Dodds from 1965 on the Daytona record label. Count of Love is the name of the tune. Now, Mark Speck, I would flip it over for you if I had a flip side. You're going to have to ask Dave the Rave to play that flip side for you, because I know he has a B-side to his copy on that. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, on the February 22nd, 2023 show, I played, I paid tribute to the late Chuck Jackson. He died on February 16th, 2023 at the age of 85. Unfortunately, the YouTube police blocked that show. They said I played too many Chuck Jackson 45s. And you know what? I knew enough not to play them consecutively, because they did the same thing to me with when Aretha Franklin passed away. I think I played like 3 or 4 in a row of hers, and I at least they let me remove them. But this time they didn't let me remove the Chuck Jacksons. They said, "I'm sorry, but they're not allowing you to air your show," and they just pulled it. And that was not very nice of them, but because that was a good show. But again, if you missed that show, you can go to vinyltreasures.net. You can check it there, all the months there. You'll find the date of February 22nd, 2023. I put 60s next to it so you can listen to the show at least. But anyway, but I'm going to play one. I'm going to test the waters tonight. They're not going to give me a problem with one. And it's a request for listener Adrian Viterbo in our YouTube chat room. I think he's under his wife's account, because you can't come into the chat unless you're signed in to YouTube. So, but it is Adrian in Mexico that requested this. Now, Chuck Jackson had about 32 releases on the Juan label. This was his sixth, a tune written by Burt Bacharach and Bob Hilliard, arranged by Bert Keys. This was number 23 on Billboard, 12 on Cashbox, number 2 on the R&B chart, and a big number 1 in a couple of markets, KCOH in Houston, Texas, also WEBB in Baltimore, Maryland, and WGES in Chicago, Illinois. This is going to be the biggest hit for tonight. Johnny G is good for at least one hit a night, and this is it. This is by request for Adrian, March 1962, the late Chuck Jackson on the Juan record label, and his tune called Any Day Now, parentheses, My Wild Beautiful Bird. This is for Adrian.
Any day now, I will hear you say goodbye, my love, and you'll be on your way. Then my wild, beautiful bird, you will have flown. Oh, any day now, I'll be all alone. Oh, any day now, when your restless eyes meet someone new. Oh, to my sad surprise, then the blue shadows will fall all over town. Love will let me down. Oh. All alone. I know I shouldn't want to keep you if you don't want to stay. Until you've gone forever, I'll be holding on for dear life, holding you this way, begging you to stay any day now. When the clock strikes go, you'll call it off, and then my tears will flow. Then the blue shadows will fall all over town. Oh, any day now, love will let me down, 'cause you won't be around. Don't fly away, my beautiful bird. Don't fly away. Don't fly away.
Hits here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. One of the few hits I play here on the program. That's for Adrian listening in Mexico. That's Chuck Jackson, March 1962 release. That's his sixth release on the Juan record label. Any Day Now is the name of the tune. That's on a cool vinyl press. You don't find many, at least on that record, on the vinyl press. I try to find those vinyl copies of those 45s if I could, especially on Wand and on Scepter. You can. Sometimes there might have been one pressing plant that did it. I don't know which one this is, but it looks pretty cool. It's got different print also, but that's what I strive to do, get the vinyl presses, not those crappy styrene. Although we got a twin spin on the Juan record label, and this is a styrene press, as I featured this gal from Havre de Grace, Maryland last week. Her real name Donzella Pettyjohn, but we know her as Nella Dodds. I played her debut single last week, her first of 6. Her version of the Supremes hit Come See About Me. But let's listen to her 4th release, this tune written by Jimmy Bishop and Kenny Gamble from July 1965. Here's Nella Dodds on the Juan label. It's called Come Back Baby. That's the sound of Nella Dodds here on the All 60s edition. That's her 4th release on the Juan label, July 65, Come Back Baby, Love to Find. That's a record I found in the wild. It's not in the greatest shape. It plays okay for a styrene 45 anyway. But let's continue here for this next singer. Originally from Nashville, Tennessee, was a member of the 1950s group The Chargers that recorded for the RCA record label. He was also a member of the Dinosaurs on Rendezvous, but he embarked on a solo career in 1960, recording for a number of different labels: Good Sound, Ray Star, Little Star, Mercury, and this label, the Samar record label, which is out of Rochester, New York. This is a tune he wrote. This is his 2nd of 2 on the Samar label. Let's go back to August 1966. Let's give a listen to Jimmy Norman. Jimmy Norman on the Samar record label. It's called This I Beg of You.
talk to me, my love. Say you want me only, and hold me in your arms, 'cause my heart is lonely. Tell me that you love me true, such a love I never knew. So you never break my heart, will never part. This I beg of you. I beg of you, baby. This I beg of you. I beg of you. And darling, close your eyes. Just don't dream of parting. A crazy love like this has a way of starting. Gotta make it understand all the love that you command. I never have a lonely night, just hold me tight. This I beg of you. I beg of you. This I beg of you. I beg of you. Understand all my love that you command. I never have a lonely night, just hold me tight. This I beg of you. I beg, baby, baby. This I beg of you. I beg of you, baby. This I beg of you, baby. I beg of you. I please. I beg, baby, baby. Please don't leave me. Can't you see it down on my knees? I beg of you, baby. I beg of you, baby.
That's Mr. Jimmy Norman. Jimmy Norman is second of two on the Samar record label, August 1966. This I Beg of You. This I Beg of You is to subscribe to Johnny G's YouTube channel. Tell your friends about it. We got to get up to 1,000 subscribers, and I could monetize. Yes, I can. Let's continue here for this group from Atlanta, Georgia. Made their debut back in 1962, recording for the Arlen record label out of Philadelphia. The song was called Untie Me. Now, after their 5 releases on Arlen, they signed with ABC Paramount Records, and that was 1963. And between 63 and 69, they had 18 releases. This is the B-side to their very last release on ABC, and I think this is the better side. It features Joseph Pope on lead. Let's go to August of 1969. Let's give a listen to the Tams. The Tams on ABC. It's called Love Maker.
I see the look on your face. You just ain't been to the right place. Woman, think before you move. Let me get you in my groove.
Listen to him, girl, 'cause love is a thing.
I'm a giver, not a taker. So get it from the love maker. Honey, here I am. Get your love at first hand. This is where it all begins. Don't let your sweet self go to waste. Come on and try a little taste.
Listen to him, girl, 'cause he's not a faker.
I ain't a butcher or a baker. I'm a first class love maker. Honey, here I am. You can hear most anything on that old grapevine about men and how heavy they are, but I can leave them all behind. possessed. Now you're in a heck of a mess. You've got to stop spending with small change if you want your love rearranged.
Like it is from the horse's mouth.
I'm a giver, not a taker. So get it from the love maker, honey. Here I am. I'm a giver, not a taker. Get it from the love maker. I ain't a butcher or baker. Want you be your love maker.
That is the last single on ABC for the Tams. That's actually the B-side. The flip side is a cover of the Clovers tune. I don't think it's that good, Love, 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 but that's the better side, I say. Those are the Tams there with Joseph Pope on lead. August 1969 on ABC. Love Maker is the name of the tune. Now, after this release, I think in 1970, they recorded for the 123 label, plus other labels they were on also. As we continue here on the All 60s edition, let's stay in 1969 for this gal. She just had 4 overall releases, all on different labels. First recording back in 1965 as Little Brenda Duff on the Downbeat label. Then in 1967, she's got a release on the Casino label, and she followed it up with this release on Blue Rock, and this is arranged and produced by William Crump. Her name is Brenda Duff. This is the B-side of the Blue Rock 45 from July 69. Brenda Duff on Blue Rock. It's called Love Ain't Never Hurt Nobody. As Brenda Duff there from July 69 on Blue Rock Records. Love Ain't Never Hurt Nobody. I mean, I don't know if that's a fact. Maybe it is, but we continue here. Let's go back to Chicago, Illinois, as A&R director for OK Records, Carl Davis, heard these guys perform at the Democratic National Convention back in 1960 and brought them to his to OK Records, and they began doing background vocals for Major Lance, which eventually led them to sign with OK Records and have their own releases. Now, this is the B-side to their 4th of 5 on the OK record label. The tune, written by Barrett Strong, features Marvin Smith on lead. Let's go back to October 1965 for this great group called the Artistics. The Artistics on OK Records. It's called I'll Come Running.
Just snap your finger and I'll come running to you, 'cause no other girl has all the charms that you do. Just a flick of the eye and I'll be right beside your side, because my love for you, believe me, I just can't hide.
That's the sound of the Artistics here on the All 60s edition. That tune called I'll Come Running, October 1965 release on the OK record label. I did play the flip side of that not too long ago. Mark Speck mentioned it, This Heart of Mine. I played that maybe about a couple of months ago, or further than that. Anyway, Johnny G here. We're continuing with the All 60s edition here. Now here's a group whose roots were in gospel. Many of their releases have that gospel flavor to them. Originally from Shelby, Mississippi, they moved to Chicago, Illinois, initially recording for the Federal record label in the early 1960s. Their next they signed with the Sims label, then Ernie Young's Excello record label. This is their fifth of six on the Excello label, and it's a cover of a Tommy James and the Shondells tune that Tommy James's came out originally in May of 1969. This came out in September of 1969. We're going to send this one out to Miami Santi in the Oldies and More chat room, who couldn't wait to hear this song by the Kelly Brothers. The Kelly Brothers from September 69 on Excello, and their rendition of the tune, Crystal Blue Persuasion.
The sun is rising.
Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition. That one there going out to Miami Santi in the Oldies and More chat room there. Those are the Kelly Brothers from September 1969 on Excello Records. Their rendition of the Tommy James and the Shondells tune, Crystal Blue Persuasion, their 5th of 6 on Excello Records. Let's continue now. And this next singer dates back to 1957 with recording for Sam Phillips' Sun record label with some cool rockabilly tunes, but he would later go all country. But some of his tunes were really cool crossover tunes like this one, which bubbled under at number 109 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 5 weeks. But it was a big number 8 record on WRIX in Griffin, Georgia. This is his second of 4 on the Wand record label. Let's go to August of 1963. Always liked this record by Ed Bruce. Ed Bruce on the Wand label. It's called See the Big Man Cry.
See the big man cry. See the big man cry.
The other day I walked out on the street. I happened to see a pretty young woman and a little bitty boy, and he looked back at me. See the big man cry, mama, that's what I heard him say. See the big man cry, mama, he looks like his heart will break. I followed them to a pet shop window. The little fella stopped to see. He looked up at her and said, if I had a daddy, he'd buy that puppy for me. See the big man cry, mama, that's what I heard him say. See the big man cry, mama, he looks like his heart will break. I wanted to tell him I was his daddy, and he sure had a pretty mama. But the judge had said that I could never see them again for the things I'd said and done. See the big man cry, mama, that's what I heard him say. See the big man cry, mama, he looks like his heart will break. Son, as you grow older, you'll find someone who's dear. You better stick by her, take care of her, then you will never hear. Oh, see the big man cry, mama, that's what I heard you say. See the big man cry, mama, he looks like his heart will break. Yeah, he looks like his heart will break. See the big man cry, mama. Oh, I see the tears in his eyes. Crying, crying over you, little fella.
August 1963, Mr. Ed Bruce. Ed Bruce on the Wand record label. See the Big Man Cry is the name of the tune. This one is the Painted On label. So, you know, that is the cheapest way to manufacture your 45s. You don't even put a label on it. You don't stick a label on it. So you just like plop the ink right on it. Talking about a cheap way to press 45s. You can get that on a vinyl press too, by the way, which I think I do have somewhere in the no humidity basement. But let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Here's a request for listener Angelo Papagallo. I don't know if you're still tuned in, Angelo, up in the state of Maine. You were buried with snow, at least last Sunday, you said. You had a big snowstorm and the power went out. But he requested this. I said, I can't play this on the 50s show, but I could swing it here on the 60s show. Now, this gal, she was born in Belhaven, North Carolina. She was discovered by songwriters Carole King and Jerry Goffin. Well, she was babysitting their daughter, Louise Goffin. So her real name was Eva Narcissus Boyd. What a middle name. And but you all know her as Little Eva. Now, Angela requested the B-side to her debut single. Actually, I think it kicked off. Yeah, it also kicked off the Dimension label. Now, of course, the A-side, which I can't play, was a big #1 smash for her called The Locomotion, a big, big hit for her. But the B-side, written by Jerry Goffin and Dee Irvin, this is from June 1962, by request for Angelo Papagallo on the Dimension label, Little Eva with a B-side. This is the B-side to The Locomotion. It's called He's the Boy.
He is the boy that I love.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is.
He is the boy that I love.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is.
When they gave out praise, they gotta hit Miss Slade. He'll never set eyes on a passing grade. But he is the boy that I love.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is.
He is the laziest person I know.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is.
He is the laziest person I know.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is.
He's so lazy that I've heard it said he ain't got ambition to get out of bed. He's the boy that I love.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is.
Mama says that I'm crazy. She tell me that I lost my mind. But he is equipped with the kind of kisses that you can't hardly find. So he is the boy that I love.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is.
He is the boy that I love.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is.
Mama says he's a no good guy, but I'm gonna keep him till the day I die. 'Cause he is the boy that I love.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is. 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 Yes, he is.
He is the boy that I love.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is.
He is the boy that I love.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is.
Mama says he's a no good guy, but I'm gonna keep him till the day I die. 'Cause he's the boy that I love.
Yes, he is.
Oh, now.
Yes, he is.
He is the boy that I love.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, the All 60s edition. That's going out to Angelo Papagallo. That's the B-side to the Locomotion song called He's the Boy, as done by Little Eva, June 1962 on Dimension. Johnny G's spinning 60s 45's. Here's Blue-Eyed Soul Singer from Camden, New Jersey. He was known as the Human Percolator, first recording for the Deborah label back in 1962. I don't have that 45, but he recorded for a number of different labels during his career: Lawn, Parkway, V-Tone, Atlantic, Kamasutra, Open, Kent, OR, Match, Heritage, Paramount, 66+6, Melomega, Bell, Midland International as we get into the 70s. Sound Gems, I think that was in 1976, but lots of different labels for this artist. He did two on Buddy Caldwell's V-Tone record label. This is the B-side to his first of two, a tune co-written and arranged by Horace Ott. When I see that name on a 45, I always buy the record. Now, this would be picked up by Atlantic Records in September 1966, but was first issued on V-Tone in August 66. Talking about Billy Harner. Billy Harner on V-Tone Records. It's called Everything's Hunky Dory.
I used to keep a pocket full of dreams, and I dreamed of a dream each night. Oh, when the morning came, don't you know I was full of pride. Hey, I'm so glad you found me, and I go all around me, 'cause everything's a hunky dory. Everything's a hunky dory. Everything's alright, everything's alright, everything's alright. I used to walk around so sad and pitiful, like I just lost my best friend. There was a dark shadow over my head, like anything might be the end. But girl, now that we're together, I know we're gonna be here forever, 'cause everything's a hunky dory. Everything's a hunky dory. Everything's alright, everything's alright, everything's alright. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life being good to you, 'cause you've been so good to me. And I'm gonna spend the rest of my life being good to you, 'cause you made me happier than any man could be. Everything's a hunky dory. Everything's a hunky dory. Everything's alright. Everything's alright. Everything's alright. What do you say? Hunky dory. Everything's a hunky dory. Everything's alright. Everything's alright. Everything's alright.
Hopefully everything is hunky-dory with you tonight, listening to these cool 1960s 45. That's Billy Harner. Billy Harner on the V-Tone record label. You can also get it on Atlantic Records. But August 66, everything's hunky-dory. It is with Johnny G as we continue here for this female singer. She was born in Detroit, Michigan, but she relocated to Brooklyn, New York. Her real name is Retta Coleman, but she had a total of 7 releases, 7 overall releases, 3 on the Redbird label, 4 on Parkway Records, but unfortunately never a hit. And she recorded as Roddy Joy. And I guess her biggest hit, if you want to call it a hit, would be Comeback Baby. That was number 86 on Billboard. But let's give a listen to her third release on Redbird from September 1965. Let's give a listen to Miss Roddy Joy. This is her third release on Redbird. It's a long title. It's called If There's Anything Else You Want, parentheses, Let Me Know.
My loving and left me crying, sighing. I love you so openly, and you took the heart right
sounds like a Motown record to me, but it's not. It's on the Redbird record label. That's the third release for Roddy Joy. Roddy Joy from September 65 on Redbird. If there's anything else you want, parentheses, let me know if it is the name of the tune. Let's continue here. And on last week's 60s show, I featured this singer from Asbury Park, New Jersey. I played his 10th of 11 on the Cap record label. It was called Love Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Of course, you know his signature song was on Archie Blier's Cadence record label back in 1963, his version of Since I Fell For You. But let's give a listen to his fourth release on the Cap record label, and this is actually a cover tune. This was first recorded by April Young in April of 65 on the Columbia label, a tune written by Tony Powers and George Fischoff. And this release came out in October of 65. This was number 96 on Billboard, was a number 17 record on WAAB in Worcester, Massachusetts. Let's go to October 1965 for Lenny Welch. Lenny Welch on Cap and his rendition of the tune Run to My Lovin' Arms.
When your pretty eyes are filled with tears, and the sounds of this cruel world are ringing in your ears, darling, when the night surrounds you and there's darkness all around you, baby, baby, don't you worry, I'll be got time to sit and ask you why. When you need someone to hear you, to say a word or just be near you, baby, baby, I will always be close by. And you can run to my loving arms. They'll keep you warm and hold you tight. If you just run to my loving arms, they'll take you in and make things right. If you just run to my loving arms, run to my loving arms, run to my.
As Lenny Welch on the Cap, the Cap, K-A-P-P, Cap Records, his fourth release from October 65, his rendition of the tune Run to My Loving Arms, first done by April Young. I also like the version by Jay and the Americans. He does a nice version, or they do a nice version of that tune also. I just like that record, I do. Let's continue here. And this next singer, he's from New York, first recorded for the Duncan label back in 1962. Then releases followed on Jovial. I have that record from 64. Then on Drum in 1965. Then he did 3 on Bobby Robinson's Fury label. Now this song, written and produced by Bobby Robinson, the label owner, and it's actually a cover of a tune done originally by Joe Haywood in May of 1965 on the Enjoy record label. This one came out in August 66. His name is Billy Hambrick. Billy Hambrick. This is from August 66. It's on the Fury label. It's called Talk to Me Baby. As Billy Hambrick on the Fury record label, Talk to Me Baby from August 1966, and he has later releases, I think, on Lee/Soho, and also on the Pyramid record labels. Johnny G here on a Saturday. That's the COVID fog on a Wednesday. As we wind down here, we're going to do a little bit of overtime here, so stick around. And up next, this group from Philadelphia, PA, they would later record as the Soul Survivors, had a big hit on the Crimson label in July of 1967. I'm sure you know the song, called Expressway to Your Heart, plus others, but they recorded two 2 years earlier, I should say, for the Bell label. They were known as the Dedications. This is from February 1965. It features the lead of Richie Inguli. I think that's how you pronounce it, Inguli. He's the lead singer. I think he passed away a couple years ago. He did, unfortunately, but this is from February 65, the Dedications on the Bell label. It's called Ain't a Bit Sorry.
No, 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 I ain't a bit sorry. No, 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 I ain't a bit sad. Maybe I did what I had to do. I made love to you, and I ain't a bit sorry. I'm glad. Had the best time I ever had. Oh, I gave you my loving, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I gave you my kissing.
Thank you, Reed, for the spelling of, for the pronunciation of the lead singer of that group there. The Dedications, of course, they became the sole survivors on the Crimson record label, February 1965. The Dedications on Bell. Ain't a Bit Sorry is the name of the tune with Richie Ngui. Ngui is how it's pronounced. Thank you, Reed, for that as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's head back to Chicago, Illinois for this gal. She had 2 releases on George Lerner's wonderful record label. Let's give a listen to her first, a song she wrote together with her producers James Jones and Larry Nestor. This charted number 6, a big number 6 record on KOKY in Little Rock, Arkansas. We go to October of 1965. Her name is Beverly Schaefer. Beverly Schaefer on the wonderful record label. It's called Where Will You Be, Boy?
Where will you be, boy? This time next year. Where will you be, boy? This time next year. Will you remember all the fun we've had, or will you be gone and leave me so sad? Where will you be? Where will you be, boy? Where will you be? Where will you be, boy? 12 months from now, will you be my boy, or will I lose you somehow? Will you be over there without someone to care? Will you tell me? Will you be? Please tell me. Where will you be? Where will you be, boy? Where will you be? Will you be my baby, or be my little soldier boy? I'm hoping our love is strong enough that time will not destroy. Where will you be, boy? Where will you be? Where will you be? Where will you be? Where will you be?
That's the first of 2 for Beverly Schaefer, October 1965. Where Will You Be, Boy is the name of that tune. That's on the wonderful record label out of Chicago, Illinois. Let's continue here. For this next 45 was one of my Aunt Mary's favorite tunes. Maybe I was talking about, this was a hit. I know I can't say it was a hit. It was a hit in some markets. Yeah, I'm going to say that. But this brings back lots of memories for your host, Johnny G. This singer born in Nashville but raised in Cleveland, Ohio. His real name was Charles Hatcher, first recorded as a member of the 1950s group The Future Tones on Tress. That's a rare 45. You'll hear that on my 50s show, but I have featured him quite often here on my All 60s show. He signed with the Detroit-based Rick Tick record label back in 1965. Here's his third of 6 on Rick Tick. This was number 48, both on Billboard and Cashbox. Number 9 on the R&B chart, a big number 1 record in a number of markets. WTAC in Flint, Michigan, also WJLB and WCHB if you were listening in Detroit. Let's go to January 1966 for the sound of Edwin Starr. Edwin Starr on the Rick Tick label. It's called Stop Her on Sight, parentheses, SOS.
I'm sending out an SOS because I'm in so much distress. And if you see my baby, if you see my baby, stop on sight. Yes, I am. From Maine to Mexico. Hey, now. Yeah, I'm gonna tell the FBI. I might even get myself a secret spot because I lost my baby. So if you see my baby, stop on sight. I lost my baby. I lost my baby. You can tell her by the way she walks. You can tell her by the way she talks. And you can tell her by the way she smiles. I guarantee you it will drive you wild. So if you see my baby, if anybody sees my baby, stop on sight. Yes, I am. 'Cause I miss my baby so. Hey, now. I don't know where she's gone. But I want you to stop my baby. Stop on sight.
Yeah, that brings back memories of my Aunt Mary. I have to tell you that. She played that record a lot. Edwin Starr there, January 66. What a great tune that is. His third release on the Rick Tick record label. Stop Her on Sight, SOS is the name of the tune. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime, and I can stay on as long as I want. That's what Oldies and More said. Johnny, you're the last show. You can stay on all night if you like. I really can't do that, though. But let's continue here. We'll do a little bit of overtime for this girl group from Jackson, Mississippi. They formed while they were all students at Jackson State College. They recorded 2 for the ABC Paramount record label. Let's give a listen to their second. It features Mildred Marie Varnado on lead. This is from March 1965. Let's give a listen to the Dolletts, Dolletts, the Dolletts on ABC Paramount. It's called Small Talk, parentheses, Doesn't Bother Me.
Now when the girls get together and they start to talk, they say he cheats on me, and he's fancy free. I know they're wrong, but can they see small talk doesn't bother me? 'Cause it don't bother me. They try to start some rumors because they're so jealous of my guy. Just let them try. I don't mind. don't bother me. Small talk doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. Small talk.
That's the second of two for the Dollettes from March 65. It's on ABC Paramount Records. Small talk, parentheses, doesn't bother me. I can't really say that's true. But anyway, let's continue here. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. We go back to Philadelphia, PA, to the Parkway record label. This group is called the Four Exceptions. Now, this group is supposedly part of a group that recorded as the Exceptions, the same group that recorded on the Pro record label. You may know the tune Down by the Ocean. Some of the members are in this group, and I like both sides of this 45, but let's give a listen to the intended A-side of this tune. It's an up-tempo dancer written by Milton Edwards, produced by Alan and Robert Slatter, and arranged by William Allen. This is from April 66. They're called the Four Exceptions. It's on Parkway Records. It's called You Got the Power.
You got the lips I like to kiss. You got the warmth of an off-gentle mist. You got the eyes of a shining light. And you got the palm that'll hold me tight. And you make all my darkness bright. And you got the power to love me. And you got the power to keep me. But when you're gone, I get so blue. And if you cry, I'll cry summer too. And if you should run away, I circle your peace and every day. But you can't believe every word I say. And you got the power to love me. And you got the power to keep me. And you got the power, girl, to love me. And you got the power to keep me. Sophistication and such a sweet conversation. You're the goddess of interpretation. You relieve me from all my frustration. You're my every inspiration. You got the power to love me. You got the power to keep me. You got the power, girl, to love me. You got the power to keep me.
Out of Philadelphia, PA, the Four Exceptions there, April 1966. It's on Parkway Records. You Got the Power is the name of the tune. What do you want for a... I got that out of a 25-cent bin when I went to one of the flea markets. You know, they actually had the entire display of, you know, you go into like Woolworths and they would have like 4 for $1. And I forget, because before they put them in plastic, they used to be loose. You know, they used to be loose, and they would either be stamped no return or they'd have BB holes in them. And you could thumb through and you can just buy them, you know, 4 for $1. They would count them and they'd charge it. But this guy had the display in like some cardboard thing. I got there first. The only problem is I left the duplicates behind. There were like multiple copies because, you know, Woolworths would pick them up at the one-stops. You know, they just buy whatever they had, the returns from the record companies, and they end up there in the 25-cent bins. What do you expect? Anyway, let's continue. Here we are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime for this next artist. His real name, Benjamin Earl Nelson, but you know him as Mr. Benny King. He left the Drifters, the lead singer of the Drifters, for a solo career in 1960. Had 33 releases on the Atco label. Let's give a listen to his 19th. This charted number 84 on Billboard, 24 on the R&B chart, but was a big number 10 record if you were tuned into WSID in Baltimore, Maryland. This is from March 1965, Mr. Benny King on Atco Records. It's called The Record, parentheses, Baby, I Love You.
Just put a quarter in now to have this record made. I only have 2 minutes, baby, to tell you how much I love you. And when you hear this record playing, I hope it's clear when I say, baby, baby, I love, baby, yes I do. I'm 1,000 miles from home. Play this record when you're all alone. Play it low, play it and listen. Close your eyes, pretend we're kissing, baby. Baby, I love, baby, yes I do. Longing to kiss, girl, you know I do. Baby, I need, baby, yes I do. Just went on in here. I guess that my time is up, dear. A second more to say goodbye and say I'll always be your guy. Baby, baby, I love you. Yes, I do. Longing to kiss, girl, you know I do. Baby, I need, baby, yes I do.
That's the sound of Benny King there, March 1965. Came out on the Atco record label, a song called The Record, parentheses, Baby, I Love You. And I think H.B. Barnum also recorded this on Capitol Records. And was Ben's last hit, I think, was in 75, a record I bought called Supernatural Thing. I think that came out in Atlantic. And then in 1986, he had another hit, a re-release of Stand By Me, to coincide with the motion picture of the same title. So that was another hit for him twice in the 1980s, but he left us with some cool 45's. Let's continue here, and I think I got 3 more records. 1, 2, 3. This one, 3 more records to go before Johnny G's got to sign off here. But this next singer, he's originally from Cleveland, Ohio. First started recording in the early 1960s as a member of the Valentinos, recording for Sam Cooke's SAR record label. But he went on to a solo career, recording for a number of different labels, Checker, Atlantic, Minute, United Artists, Liberty, and Fred Smith's Keeman record label out of Los Angeles, California. Now, this is the intended A-side. It's a song he wrote. Let's go to August of 1966 for Mr. Bobby Womack. Bobby Womack on the Keeman record label. It's actually asking a question. It's called What Is This?
Something inside that I'm trying to
As Mr. Bobby Womack, August 66th. It's on the Keyman record label. What Is This is the name of the tune. This is a 45. Two more to go before we sign off here on the All 60s edition. Now for this next singer, best known for her big hit called Rescue Me in 1965, but she began recording for the Bobbin label, Bobbin Records. I think it was out of St. Louis, Missouri. She had others on the Pran label, Vesuvius, as Sonia, and also Checker Records. Here's her release on Ike Turner's Pran record label, written by Oliver Sane, produced by Ike and Tina Turner with the Oliver Sane Orchestra. Let's go to June of 1963 for Miss Fontella Bass. Fontella Bass on the Pran record label. It's called I Love the Man.
What more can I say? I love the man, and I need him every day. He belonged to someone else, but I just can't help myself. I just gotta have his love every now and then. When there's no one else around, and I need his arm to lift me when I'm down. I know I'm playing a losing hand, but you just don't understand. I love the man. I'm a fool and I know it, and I don't care how much I show it, and I don't care what the people say. Though he takes my heart and tears it all apart, but with just one gentle touch, he sweep the pain away. And I know, Lord, I know that it's a sin, and I know that I got to lose in the end, but I don't care what happens to me, if that's the way it's got to be, 'cause I love the man. Don't you know that I love the man? Don't you know I need the man? I know I'm playing a losing hand, but I love the man.
June 1963 release there for Miss Fontella Bass. Fontella Bass on the Pran record label. I think that's right, Prann. That's Ike and Tina Turner's label, song entitled I Love the Man. Well, that's going to do it for Johnny G and the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. You can send me an email. You can contact me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. Send me an email if you have a request. If I have the 45, I'll look for it if I have enough time to do it. But I'm trying to get my 60s 45s in order. It's been taking me some time. Again, a little bit of a setback here, but we're getting back in the motion of it. So also, if you send me an email, if you just want to talk about the show, I've been getting so many great emails from the listeners. You know, disc jockeys love to receive correspondence from their listeners, no matter what it is. It doesn't even sometimes be the topic of music. It can really be anything. So thank you all for your communications to Johnny G, and also for being a fan of the show. But that's going to do it for tonight, and we'll be back here next Wednesday night beginning at 9 p.m., 9 to midnight right here on Oldies and More Radio, also on YouTube. If you haven't already done it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell to get a notification. You'll receive an email, but you have to be signed into YouTube, and also you need to give me a thumbs up as YouTube keeps track of that. That's very important too. Even if you watch it on the archive, when you go back on the archive to do it, I know a lot of people come back. I mean, I think I got like 790 that have watched my last week's Saturday show. So that's a lot. But I will be back Saturday night at 9 o'clock for 1950s and early 60s, and that's really become an all-request show. So I'm getting a lot of requests. I think I did 4 hours last Saturday, actually 4 hours and 10 minutes with all the requests. I had a big crowd there, so they seem to stick around for that show. But thank you either way. If you like this show or the Saturday night show, it doesn't really make a difference as long as you tune in. You can hear some of these cool 45s out of my collection. Who else does this? Who else shows you these records here? This is like a new phenomenon that your host Johnny G has created. But anyway, thank you all again for tuning in. Thank you, Charlene, again for your help. Couldn't do without Charlene. But our closer tonight, actually, we're going to ask DJH Record Hound in our YouTube chat room if he knows this artist from it's Petersburg, Ontario, Canada. He was a member of a group called the Count Victors. They recorded, at least here in the States, in mid-1962, recording for the Coral record label. He then went solo in 1964 with releases on Coral. This is his sixth of seven, a tune written by Susan Haber, produced by Henry Jerome. He would have one last release on United Artists in 1967, but this one came out in March of 1966. His name is Danny Harrison. Danny Harrison on the Coral record label, and the song is called Girl, Girl, Girl. That's our closer for tonight. This is a 45 that the late Greg Surik sold to me because he knew that I was into soul music, but even much earlier, before I even had this show. But he sold me lots of soul records in my collection. He wanted some soul records out of my collection too, like the Phonetics, which I didn't want to sell. But anyway, he has supplied me with a lot. I think this is the only one that he sold me this tonight's show that I purchased, but so many. And Greg will be missed. My friend, my competitor in music, and fellow collector. But I'll be talking about Greg more on my Saturday night show. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in tonight. I will see you next Wednesday right here on YouTube and Oldies and More Radio. If not, I'll see you Saturday night. Everybody have a safe remainder of the week. I'll see you next time right here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
Make the scene with you. I say. Girl, you better treat me right or I'll go away.